What's up, RJ gang? It's your boy John and
Ray.
And today we're going to be doing a story time video. I'm feeling some kind of way right now. I had just got pranked. Video coming soon.
It might actually be up when this goes up. We'll see. I don't know yet.
So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video.
Alright, so we're gonna start. It's a couple of parts to this story, so we're gonna start with part 1. When we met. Dun dun dun. Well, how we met. Alright, so I started at the hospital on June 4th, 2017.
You ain't gotta put no date in it.
Yeah, I do. 2017. It's 2 years ago. So I started there with the orientation, all that. Worked morning shift so I can get like used to it or whatever. But you know, I was on evening shift, 3 to 11. So boom, came up in that thing. So some girls I was like shadowing or whatever, like they showing me the ropes, training me, whatever. Anyway, some little thotty girls. So one of them, so yeah, this is how it's gonna start. One of them, she don't like me still to this day. Don't really care. But anyway, her and her friend like trained me or whatever. The friend left, so it was me and her. We was just sitting in there talking about blah blah blah. So originally, the girl that left, she was the one that's supposed to be training me. But the manager told them they could both work together. So boom. I'm saying, all right, they trained me, blah, 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 blah. Let's fast forward because she's important in this story. So, you go. Your opinion on, like, meeting me.
I mean, it was pretty awkward because what had happened was, like, did I bump into you or did you bump into me when I had walked around the corner?
You almost bumped into me. You didn't bump into me.
Okay, so when that had happened, I had looked up at her, like, we made eye contact or whatever, and she was staring at me, I was staring back at her, like, we was legit, like, caught in a moment. I'm not even gonna sit here and, like, over-exaggerate that, like, we was really caught in a moment, and then all of a sudden, like, the friend that, well, the worker, whatever, that she's talking about, came around the corner and was like,
no, not that one.
Not that one?
Mm-mm.
I don't know who you talking about then. Huh?
That was her friend.
Okay, I don't know what she talking about then, but an ex-friend of hers.
Your best friend. Don't flex.
That's not my best friend. But anyway, she walked around the corner and she was like, "Why you staring at him like that?" And then I just, like, I guess broke out the trance and then walked away.
With his girlfriend.
That was not my girlfriend.
So
that was not my girlfriend.
He almost bumped into me. I had my little trash can. And I was leaving, you know, I was on my phone. But you shouldn't be on your phone, kids, while at work. Don't be like me. Anyway, so then, boom, he almost bumped into me, but he didn't. So then we stopped. We was looking at each other, just looking. And then I should say her name, came around the corner and was like, "Why you looking at him?" Like, "Cause I can." And then he walked away with his little friend.
That's what we're gonna say.
And she was just staring at me the whole time with a look. And I was like, "What's your problem?" And then so the girl was like, she was like, "I don't know, why you staring at him like that? While he was with his girlfriend or something like that." And I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "You trying to fight?" And I was like, "Okay." Like, if you're gonna fight, don't say, "Do you want to fight?" Hit me so I can hit you back. And so
honestly, I didn't even know what the chick problem was, to be honest.
Then she left. So I don't know what happened when she got outside, because she went outside with him. So
she came outside and then so she was like, "Why y'all was staring at each other?" I was like, to me and whatnot. And the chick that she talking about that she thought was my girlfriend got pissed off and walked away. But it's like, why are you mad? You have a whole fiance out here. Like, I'm not proud that I was messing around with somebody that had a fiance, but it's like, okay, at that time, like, I didn't care. So if she didn't care, I didn't care either. But Yeah, and I was like, why? She said something, and so she was like, yeah, she said she don't know why your ugly was staring at her and blah 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 blah. Basically, she made it seem like that she had down talked me or whatever. And so, well, basically, it was shit talking me. And then, like, I think it was like, was it later on, huh?
No, he was itching.
Oh, was it like later on that day I had pulled your hair in the office?
Oh, it was that day.
Yeah, it was later on that day. I was getting ready to clock out, and I seen her. And so, I'm the type of person I like to provoke people, especially if I know that you me. So I came up behind her, and I pulled her hair. And then she gonna turn around and look at me. She thought I didn't see that little grin on, the little smirk on her face or whatnot, but not, you know, exactly. See, she thought I didn't see that little smirk on her face when I pulled her hair. And then so she was like, "Hey," and I was like, "I heard you was talking shit about me."
No, that was the next day.
That was next day. Okay,
yeah,
well,
because the next day, I was in the office waiting on keys. So he worked for POVs,
okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
I worked for like the main or whatever. So he was he wasn't there. So I was just sitting in there waiting on keys. Like I was waiting on the secretary to bring me keys. So I'm just sitting there waiting. She told me to go in there and wait while they had a meeting, and she'll bring me keys after they meeting. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just sitting there waiting. So I see some friends I know, or supposed friends. That story that gets deeper in this story because they were supposed. So let's just call A1 and then we'll call A2. That's his cousin. So A2 is his cousin. A1 is just a random girl that was his best friend. A1 is the girl that also asked me, did I want to fight? Back to the story. So A1 says to A2, yeah, because you know, no, because you know John told his sister not to move in with me. And I'm like, John? I was like, oh, y'all talking about Johnny? And it was like, no, not Johnny, John. And I was like, oh. Then he was like, I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. And it was, and so A1 was like, oh, she was like, A1 was like, yes you do. And I was like, no, I don't know who that is. And then A2 was like, yeah, that's my cousin or whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't know him. And so then he walked around.
Until I walked around the corner.
He walked around the corner and I was like, oh, hey. And I looked at his name tag. It said John. I got up and I walked. I got up and I walked to one of the manager's offices. I was like, not about to be in this because I wasn't talking about him.
She could have at least warned a real nigga. Just being talked about. He walked up behind me. And because I was like at the files or whatever. And he walked up behind me. He was like, so you was talking about me? I said, who? I said, I heard you was talking about me. And I was like, who was talking about you? And he was like, you. I said, I don't know who told you that. But if I had something to say to you, I would have been said. And it's funny because A1 was standing right there when I said it. And then she walked away when she was like, you need to tell me who said it. He was like, yeah. He was like, well, I heard it. And I said, well, tell me who said it so I can go say something to them. A1 and he was like, nah, I ain't even gonna do that. He was like, just know I heard you was talking about me. I said, well, whoever said it, tell them to stop lying on my name because I didn't say anything about you. I said, I don't even know you enough to talk about you. And like that, the secretary came and gave me keys and I walked away. And A2 was just sitting there like, oh, she don't tell him we was just talking about him. So then, we're gonna fast forward to later that day. That's when I hit your back. You had hit my back. Well, I didn't hit your back. The manager made me hit your back. Your manager. Oh, yeah. So I was standing at the window. You know, I was at the window. It was this female. Her name started with a J. I was standing there. I was flirting a little bit. And then I felt a hit on my back. And so I turned around. And it was her. But my manager made her hit my back. Because she was just standing behind me just... I was waiting for him. Yeah, I did not know she was like. If I knew she was behind me, I wouldn't have did all that flirt. I would turn around and started flirting with her. But she came behind like a smooth criminal. But she hit my back, and well, whatever. She still hit my back, whatever. And I turned around. I was like, hey, and then so she was like, hello. I was like, ooh, somebody got a little attitude. And then it all made sense. She, you know, she felt a little kind of way. That's what that shit was. She felt some kind of way. Don't lie.
That's about what?
Don't lie. Anyway, so that's when I started talking to her, and the female that I was talking to in the window had ended up closing the window. She caught my I was like, oh, you
woman.
Yeah. And then so that's what she was like, your hand all right? I was like, yeah, it'll be all right. And then she just gonna walk away. I was like, I wasn't done talking to you. The audacity.
So we're gonna fast forward to a couple of nights later. So my phone vibrated. I'm in the car with my mom. We're leaving town or whatever. So my phone vibrated. Me and my mom having a conversation or whatever, listening to music, just like talking and stuff. So my phone vibrated, and I showed my mama, and she was like, why is she calling you? I said, exactly, we not friends. Because I had told my mom the whole situation. My mom was like, why is she calling you? I was like, exactly, we not friends. And she was like, exactly. So I was like, but I'm gonna answer. I answered. I said hello. And she was like, somebody wants your number. No, she said, hey. And then it was silent. And then she was like, somebody wants your number. I said, okay. Who? And she was like, John. And I was like, okay, give it to him. And she was like, oh, all right, bye. So she hung up. I was like, all right, cool. So we get home. I take a shower and stuff. He texted me. He said, hey. No, he said, hey, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm finna say, get that right.
And I said, hey.
Dead ass, hey. I was like, oh.
And then he said, do you want to get on FaceTime? And I was like, no, I'm going to sleep. Good night. But no, legit, I did go to sleep that night. Legit.
I feel like she was flying like a mother.
Like, no, legit, that night I went to sleep. Like, I was tired. And that morning I had to do my hair. So.
But when you had FaceTime, it was later on that next day.
It was the next day, that morning. No, it was that morning.
It was that morning? Oh, because, yeah, you was bathing Titus.
Yep. And
then you had on a sports bra and some ballers. And I said, she got some ass titties.
What? Inappropriate.
What?
So, yeah, I called him. I FaceTimed him the next morning. We were talking.
Yeah, she FaceTimed me. I was still trying to wake up. Wow. And then, like, I felt my phone vibrating. And I looked, and it had, damn, what did I have your name as? Was it Powerpuff? I think it was, I had her name as Powerpuff because when I met her, she had, like, 2 puff braids in her head. Reminded me of a Powerpuff girl, so I called her Powerpuff. So yeah, all I know is Powerpuff popped up on my phone. I'm like, oh shit. So I answered it, hot breath and all.
So I was like, I had called him because he had texted me that night or something and was like, call me in the morning or something like that. Or call me when you wake up, or FaceTime me when you wake up, something like that. So I was like, okay.
Oh, I know, I said, call me whenever you're available and ready to talk.
Yeah,
so I remember that night, because remember I thought you was like dubbing me that night.
Yeah. So I had called him, and so he was basically like, so I had like he said what I had on, and I was bathing Titus, which is my godson, well, our godson. So I was bathing him, and Titus just looking at this dude like, why is he on the phone?
Well, that baby had a head. That's the first thing I said to her too. I was like, that baby got a big head. And she got mad. The look she gave me now, that's the exact look she gave me. I was like, oh, let me
So I was like, so we was talking. So at the time, me and my mom was staying with my auntie. So my auntie was like, who is that on the phone? I was like, my friend. And she was like, oh, let me talk to him. So my auntie talked to him. She talked to him. I don't know about what. I left out of the kitchen, so I don't know what they was talking
She asked me what was my zodiac sign, and I told her I'm a Taurus. And so she was like, oh, Juicy is a Capricorn. She was like, oh yeah, Capricorns and Taurus, you know, they're a matchmaker, blah, 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 blah. And then so she already gassed my head up. In my head, I already knew I had her. But, you know, she gassed my head up even more. But, you know, that's basically what she talked to me about. And then so she was like, I got to meet you one day. And you got to get my approval to date my niece and all this other stuff.
I don't know why they think everybody my mama.
So I was like, oh, alright, but in my head I was like, man, she fucking what?
And so then she said, y'all dating? And I said, nope, we friends.